close up.
Okay, yeah.
So
I will do some of that, yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to our latest TerraTech World stream. As always, let me know if you can hear me okay. We've also put the music on for this stream, so if the music is too loud or too quiet when we get into the game, let us know that as well. So you know me, I'm Grace, I'm Community Manager on TerraTech Worlds, and with me this week I have...
Chris, hello.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Design Director at Payload. Some people who've been following TerraTech for a while might know me from doing streaming back in the day. But yeah, I'm back again. Here I am. Hello.
Yep, and you're Design Director, which means you have a much better idea of what we can and can't talk about. So if people want to get their questions in, we have one of the best people to answer them.
Yeah, I'm supposed to know that stuff. I don't really know that stuff, but I'll give it a go anyway.
And I'm just going to say what...
People are saying no sound.
Yeah, and someone else said we can hear you.
Maybe someone's trying to trick me.
It's fine.
They're trying to trick on me.
And then what I always say, and will say frequently through the stream as usual, development in progress, everything you see is subject to change. Someone's only got a black screen, but other people can see us, sound is fine. So we're all over the place today, so I'm just going to assume that you can hear us and you can see us, and we're going to jump into the game. Do you want to do this bit first?
Yeah, all right. Hang on,
Before we change it.
It'd be all right. I'll skip it back and forth.
This bit here.
Nice one.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
It is really pretty.
Here we go. So we're going to look at some combat stuff today. I'm going to get some weapons. We're going to get in some fights and talk about enemies a little bit. But before I do that, I'm going to put in some cheat codes because I'm a dirty cheater. So 1 second.
Click back, there we go.
There we go, all right.
Yep, Tyler, if you could refresh YouTube, luckily everyone else can hear us, so I don't know why I'm saying that to you because you won't be able to hear me saying that to you. But hopefully you'll return with sound. It's really nice to see everyone. As we said, questions about TerraTech Worlds. We won't be answering questions about TerraTech generally because it's a TerraTech Worlds stream. As always, as well, no release date just yet. If you want to be the first to know the release date, follow us on our social media, which is at TerraTech Worlds everywhere, and sign up to our mailing list. And if you're going to ask as well about playtesting and beta testing, it's the mailing list, terratechworlds.com. You can sign up there. So you can get ahead of a few of those. Sure, we'll be repeating that as we go on anyway.
All right, so I've got the starter pistol here, the Vindor gun.
Yep.
It uses light ammunition, so a big change from the first game. We have ammo consumables now. On my halo indicator, you see the thing sticking out
Yep.
the top of the cab there, the little compass. We can see there's an enemy tech nearby. Here it is. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you this as a baseline.
And they've gone red because they're hostile, but before
Yep.
they see you, that's like a different colour, right?
That's it. Yeah. So they don't see you at all
Just
ranges.
going about the business.
Yeah, they're just patrolling and doing stuff. They'll do a bit more stuff eventually, but right now they just kind of roam around. But yeah, so you can see.
He's trying his best.
There we go. Are we getting? Do we have the game audio?
I'm not sure, but I don't
here?
know how to change it.
I think it's just.
So we can look at that for the future.
I might be able to just sneakily do it. 1 second. Sorry. Let's just.
In terms of console, at the minute we're very focused on our initial release, which is going to be PC only. I don't know about Steam Deck compatible. Do we know that yet?
Not sure.
Not
Don't
sure yet.
Yeah.
So, solid answer for your first two questions. Maybe.
Yeah,
But right now we're focused on PC, more traditional. Let's just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Well, for all, we're here for about 25 more minutes. So if you remember your question, you can let us know. And we'll do our best to answer.
all right. So that's the pistol. Let's get something better. Let's get a bigger weapon out. Let's see what we've
We'll
got.
say the bright pink is a placeholder.
Yeah.
Very disappointed because I love all of the bright pink skins, but that does mean that's not going to be bright pink in the game.
So let's get the Hagel out. So this is a kind of blaster rifle. It's slightly larger than the Vindor. And now that we've got two weapons, we can set up a weapon group. So I can have both of them firing on right click here. And I've still got that resource laser. I'll actually just get rid of the resource laser. We don't need that. So I'll pop that back in the cargo. But yeah, let's set these up to fire on alternate button presses.
Very fancy.
There we go. All right, so we've got another blip on the radar. All the enemies in this open kind of plains area are a bit easier to fight. If we get up into the hills, we'll be fighting something a bit more troublesome.
Because we talked about that a bit last time, that this is like the starter biome where we want everyone to have a nice time, and then when you go to the more dangerous places, obviously they're going to find difficult things. Here's a funny little tech.
Yeah, so the groups of enemies try and sort of appear as, you get these little soldier ones who are more combat ready, a bit more maneuverable, and then you get the larger harvester ones.
Yeah.
At the moment, they both have similar behaviour, but eventually the soldier ones are going to be more aggressive and more accurate, whereas the harvester ones may be more timid and flee from danger and try and get out of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said just have a downloadable skin pack that's bright pink. Believe me, I am having those conversations. I am pushing for my Barbie themed tech. Absolutely. Will the game be focused on building a central big base of operation, or is it more of a nomadic play style?
It's up to you. It's up to you. So we've been looking at a lot of open world survival games for inspiration, and I think the best ones offer you that choice. You can decide whether or not you want to have one big monolithic base where you're trying to bring everything back to that central place and process it and deal with it all there, or if you want to build one semi-main base with a bunch of satellite bases, or perhaps
outposts.
Outposts, or maybe even kind of periodically move your position of your base as different areas of the world become more important for what you're trying to achieve. It's up to you. Choice is yours.
Will there be multiple planets in TerraTech worlds? Yes, but maybe not necessarily like immediately, right?
Yeah, so we're working on getting the first planet great first, and once we're happy with that, then we move on to the next planet. So
you're much better at combat than I am.
There we go. All right, I'll immediately die now you've said that. Yeah, so the plan is we'll get this first planet really good, then as we go on, we'll make new biomes, new hazards, new enemies, new stuff to find in the world, and we'll work on each planet as it comes, and we'll be using a mix of some of the existing biomes, introducing new ones, and then adding in high concept aspects to it. So you'll have potentially larger worlds or smaller worlds, or worlds that have more nighttime, or worlds where temperature is more of an issue straight away, or different resource mixes.
And we want this to be a game that people find a reason to go back to. Like my favourite games, when I dip back in, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's all this new stuff. So it's nice if, as you go along and progress, like more and more stuff is available, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. Like the first game. Where are we? 8 years now?
Yeah.
8 years of updates. Right. So that's obviously the plan again. We want to support this game for a long time, which means we want to add lots and lots of stuff as we go along. So yeah, initially one planet. We're going to make sure we get that right, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. In terms of customizing the gameplay, like picking the amount of plants or bots, I don't think we have that in mind currently.
Well,
I could be
yeah,
wrong.
I mean, it depends on what you mean by... No, sure, I mean, no, it's a good question. Like, it depends on what you mean by customization. Basically, we were talking a little bit about the building limitations. So when you're building techs, you'll see this tech reactor panel now. This is part of our efforts to introduce more choices to how I build my tech, what I include, what I don't include on it, what specialism I'm trying to lean into. Obviously, that's something which is new, and some players are just going to say, well, I don't want any limitation. I just want to build what I want, right? And that's valid. And the first thing we know people are going to do is make a mod that turns that off, right? So, rather than force that whole thing, we want to put some advanced options in so you can set that up. So on your playthrough, you can say, right, I want daytime length to last this long, or I want to switch off that part, or change this, make drops a bit more lenient, or whatever you want to do. So we will initially, we probably won't have those straight away because we're trying to get the other parts of the game in order. But yeah, very soon after that, we expect to give you the options to modify your game a bit like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got this gun. What am I doing? I'm gonna attach.
Is stressing me out.
I'm just gonna build a kind of janky looking tech a little bit. I get a discount for using this axle here, so if I use the axle, then my wheels don't cost as much.
When you say cost as much, you mean with
on reactor load. Yeah. So yeah, I get a discount in terms of reactor load when I use that. But what I really came back here to do is to get my... I'm just going to switch it to day because we're streaming, and I know sometimes when you're playing at night it is harder to see. When you're playing with your own machine it's a bit easier, but with streaming the resolution isn't always perfect, so it can be...
Yeah, just to let the people on YouTube know, we know that there are some video quality issues and we're working on that. That is something we aim to change because the game is lovely on our side, but I know it can look a bit low quality in our streams. Working on it.
All right, so I've been fighting these easier enemies for a little bit. I want to go up to the hilltop with a dense woodland area over here where things get a bit tastier. So you'll find some tougher enemies that have grenade launchers and missile launchers. Because I'm going over there because they're tougher. Normally I wouldn't do this where you're like packing up the tech yard and bring it back out again. This is supposed to be my sort of home base.
Yeah.
But because I've got the developer cheats on, it means it's just a good way of changing my tech up so I can show you a few more of the weapons.
Yeah. Someone asked if all assets and parts from TerraTech are going to be ported to this. This is a new game. This is like a brand new game. We call it the spiritual successor to TerraTech, but it's not TerraTech, so it's all, as far as I'm aware, all new.
Yeah, that's it. New. Yeah. So you may see some similar things, but...
Yeah, because they're still related.
Yeah, but...
like cousins, not twins.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But yeah, from the ground up, we've rethought the whole blog list.
Yeah.
So it'll be...
There's no tether.
Yeah, no tether. Yeah, so it'll be new corporations, new blocks, new worlds, new stuff.
New
Still
dangers.
sort of TerraTech feel though. It still retains that
Well,
kind
like
of.
Vasari says, this is a game that we would have wanted to make had we had all of the talent and resources available at the time. So it's kind of a reimagining. Someone else asked something that is now off the screen, so I'm afraid I can't see it. It was about the block limit and about whether it was block size or something else. If you want to re-ask that, it's just kind of fallen off our screen.
So the way reactor limit works is each block has a reactor load. Basically, the cab has a reactor inside of it. That's what holds the tech together. That's what powers the movement and the other systems. So, for example, you've got the power, which was shown on previous streams, which you use the resource laser, takes power to cut through resources, for example. But yeah, every single block on my tech has a different reactor cost. So if I just view it here, you can see the reactor load here for this wheel is 5.
What's that based on? Size or?
Yeah, so basically size, utility, power. You know, if it's a better wheel, if it's more powerful, if it goes faster, if it
goes through mud or something.
Yeah, if it can do something that other wheels can't, then yeah, it will cost more. But then there's also stuff that gives you discounts. So like I said, this axle I've got will give me a discount on the wheels that are attached to it. So there are ways of building beyond it. It's also not a hard cap, it's a soft cap. You can go over your reactor limit, but you start incurring penalties. So for example, your stamina, your power bar will not refill as fast. And the repair as well. So I've been hit a few times. You can see my blocks repairing themselves, passive repair. If I'm over my reactor load, then that will start to decrease. It will go slower. And if I go way over, then it will stop happening entirely. So, you know, it's not a hard limit. You can do it for a short time or for a longer time, but you have to think about it. You have to build around it. Yeah. There's also auxiliary reactors, which are a different block that consume reactor fuel. So that's probably a placeholder name. But yeah, so you can make yourself reliant on a consumable to run a larger, more expensive tech as well.
Yeah, which is kind of what you're asking. Thought about a reactor block for late game that increases it. There are kind of ways to do that, but with everything, there's like different payoffs.
Yeah. So you know, you can field a larger tech, more powerful tech, but it comes with associated costs. Maybe you can only do that for a short amount of time. Maybe you just have to think about a few more things whilst you're doing it. You have to make sure that you keep enough of these consumables, the fuel source, whatever it is, on you. Yeah. Keep that hanging there.
Cool. Are we going to see a few different weapons? I
Yeah,
noticed there was one a minute ago where there was a big red circle on the ground.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that was, we were talking about something else at the time, but yeah, that was the smart mortar at the moment, it's called. This one wants to be placed in a different orientation. I don't know if I can use that very well. I'll just go without it for now. So yeah, I don't think I managed to kill that tech. So we can go back and fight that one.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I've also got this coaxial cannon. You know, again, a lot of this artwork is just placeholder. That's not final, finished quality. You can see it's fairly low poly, but it gives you a flavour of it. It's quite a fun weapon to use at the moment.
Someone asked about the reason for the art style change, but I think that would be more a question for one of our artists.
Yeah,
who we will have on future streams. So I think either of us really want to speak to that. Is the game pure open exploration, or are there going to be quests, potentially with some story attached or a co-op?
So it's more systemic than the last game. It's less focused on scripted encounters, scripted missions than the last game, which means that we want to build a world where each of these systems interact with each other, and it's more up to you as a player to go and do what you want, play how you want, you know, go whichever way you want, explore where you want, and focus on, you know, mining, exploration, combat, harvesting, processing, moving stuff around, whatever role you want to fill in your team, you know, for co-op players. But we do also want a few scripted things. Oh, look, he got hit by a puffball. Do you see that? So these puffballs knock you flying, and he's just skidding around in the background. Yeah. So we do want a few of those things, but it'll be less so than the last game because we want it more focused around this open-ended play.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still definitely want, you know, NPCs and things happening when you arrive, definitely. So you'll see that happening too.
Someone asks if there'll still be an option for bases to have bubble shields.
The bubble shields. I'm reluctant to go down the route of bubble shields because they became too OP. They became so prevalent.
Yeah,
they were
it's the
just
same
the
thing
meta.
with the tech reactor, where people just thought this. They kind of became one singular version of gameplay, where it was just make everything big and just have, you know, your big turret with guns and things.
Yeah.
And I think it's more interest. You have to think a lot more with this. It's almost like a puzzle at times.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot more interesting. And TerraTech's still there for those people who want that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, that's it. So we've taken the sting out of being attacked or destroyed a lot more in this game. If I get destroyed, if my tech is completely destroyed, oh my god. Here we go. I will just come back to my tech yard.
Yeah.
So that means that we don't, you know, players don't have to be so cautious and always stop any type of damage affecting them. You don't have to lean so heavily into just, you know, stacking up batteries and having loads of bubble shields. We do have some energy shields, so you have blocks like this. Oh, I can't place it there because I'm blocked by this weapon. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
So you have smaller shields which are more placeable. So you can't shoot through them from behind. Enemies can't shoot through them from the front, or you know, they have to spend a bit of time breaking those shields. But it's less about just putting a bubble shield on, forgetting about it, and loading yourself up with batteries. You have to kind of choose where you're going to place it. The building decisions are a bit more meaningful in this one.
Someone also asked, what does a design director do?
Oh yeah, what do they do? Mainly just bickering with people all day, I think. Just
Well, the meetings I'm in.
yeah, that's it. No, I mean, so I'm
Well, you lead the
responsible
design
for.
team.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a team of designers now. There's how many of there's about 6 or 7 roughly designers, and so each designer is responsible for a different part of the game. So
Which is why we had Lewis on last time to talk about hazards, because that's been his focus.
yeah, exactly, right. So Lewis is dealing with the hazards. He's been making the puffballs and the lightning storms and everything else. There's a designer, Andy, who's involved with the combat stuff. Unfortunately, he's off today, so I'm here to talk through some of what he's been working on. And yeah, so I work with Russ to help you know, figure out what we're making with the designers and develop these ideas, review stuff. I've also been working on like the first hour of the game more recently, and like looking at the different active tasks that we're pushing the player through, trying to sand off some of the rougher corners of what's going on. Obviously, there's a lot of work in progress stuff at the moment. So yeah, I don't know what design director does. Yeah, tries to get it feeling nice for you when you play it.
Nice. It's very pretty as well, which I always I just think it's visually really pretty.
Yeah, that's Jason's. Yeah. That's Jason's part. That's the art director. But yeah.
Someone asked, will there be weapons that do like area of effect or status effect damage?
Yeah, that's it. So I've got a grenade launcher right here. That's a great segue.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah, that's nice. So neat. Let's find an enemy. Oh, there's one here.
Perfect.
So if my aim is right and my timing's right, and I'm lucky, I might be able to get them with an explosive grenade. Cool, the fuse on these is actually a bit long. I haven't messed around with this one for a while.
You got him then.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, it does direct damage if I manage to actually connect with them as well, so that's nice. Oh, there we go, a little trap there. So yeah, definitely AoE weapons.
So this red circle when it lands.
Yeah, that's part of the telegraphing. So
Yeah.
all of our weapons, part of the combat paradigm for this game is that when you're being attacked by enemies, you should be more aware of where you're getting attacked from and trying to move to avoid that attack. So
and not just enemies, like the lightning storm as well gives you a telegraph.
That's it, yeah. So everything should be telegraphed. The player should have the ability to try and respond to that.
Can you accidentally shoot yourself? Like if you shoot it and you go into that area?
Yeah, that's it. So AoE weapons are a bit more powerful.
Apparently your microphone sounds a bit odd.
Sorry.
Is it tilted?
Yeah, I think it's just... There we go. Thank you. Sorry about that.
But we're saying that you can actually hurt yourself with that weapon.
Yeah, that's it. With AoE weapons, they're a bit more powerful, a bit more expensive in terms of the ammunition that they consume, and they can be dangerous if you misuse them. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes left on this stream, so if you have any last questions, now is the time to ask them. I'm guessing you have to kill the cab in order to kill the tech.
Yeah, that's it. Same as the first game. Yeah, the cab is the head and the heart of the tech. Once you destroy the cab, then there's no more tech left. In this time around, we only have 1 cab per tech. It's a bit sort of messy. Sometimes you'd encounter enemies with lots and lots of cabs stuck to them in the first game. So we put a stop to that. Oh no, okay, I'm getting attacked. Hang on, sorry.
Will there be defend your base gameplay?
Yeah, I totally want to play that. Yeah, definitely. So bases are much more of a thing, much more significant in this game, and yeah, ultimately you will have to protect them from enemies. We don't have that working yet, but yeah, they'll come along. They'll make concerted efforts to attack your base. You'll also need to build up base defences, sentry guns and traps, potentially mines and that sort of thing. Oh my gosh, there's someone over here as well.
It's swarmed.
Yeah, to protect yourself. But yeah.
You can see there, that was a cab that blew up.
Yeah.
Someone asking if there'll be invaders.
Oh right, like the first game.
Yeah.
Not sure. We haven't really discussed it, so I won't promise anything there.
Yeah.
Invaders, for those who don't know, invaders in the first game were tech snapshots that people made and shared on Twitter, and then everyone else's game would passively pull them. So it's sort of like an asynchronous version of the invader system from Dark Souls. That's kind of what we're thinking of when we made it.
If there are invaders, can we turn? We don't even know if there'll be invaders
yet,
so let's not. That would be jumping a little bit far ahead.
Yeah, we'll see.
Are there any kind of docking blocks to combine text on the fly?
Yeah, I think you've been paying attention to. Yeah. Okay. So. We haven't messed around with multi-text too much yet in this game. I know the game is set up to deal with them a bit better than the first game, but in terms of player-facing explosive bolts or a block which would combine 2 tech clumps together, we haven't messed around with that too much. But it is on the roadmap. We have multi-text on the roadmap, so it's something we will explore and get a bit closer to further down the line.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, everything we talk about might not necessarily be immediately at the launch of the game. We're thinking really long term. There'll be a roadmap and everything. So it's kind of things that are being talked about, but not necessarily everything is not going to be in at once. Like we said, we want that to be a journey that we're on together. Is crafting planned?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so crafting is more of a thing in this game. I said crafting, I mean crafting, sorry.
I think it's taking my accent.
Yeah, getting that from you. Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit more straightforward this time around, so the recipes appear in lists, but yes, crafting happens. You need to make your own blocks, you need to make your own structures, you also need to make your own consumables, so ammo, for example. So there's lots of reasons to craft and lots of structures which allow you to craft. These sniper rifle weapons, these railgun weapons, are a bit fiddly at the moment, and I've just crashed. There we go. All right, here we go. But yeah, crafting is still there. Be less of an exploit this time around, maybe.
Yeah. Cool.
Slightly less.
And we'll take one more question, which is, have the design team considered grouping weapons? For example, I might want to fire only guns, or only rockets, or only forward-facing weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can show you that right now.
Someone else asked, is the repair thing in the game, or is that a dev thing? That's in the game. The repair.
Yeah, so we've got a repair beam here. How it's working is going to be reworked soon, so I won't show you that right now. But yeah, to the question about firing alternate guns or having weapon groups, yeah, absolutely. Let me just pick 2 weapons.
But not like too many, because we also don't want people to have, like we're saying, you've got to be careful with your design. You shouldn't have like a billion different guns on at once.
That's it, exactly. So I've got a blaster rifle here, which I'll assign to left click, and I've got a smart mortar, which I'll assign to right click. So yeah, left click, I can fire my blaster rifle, and right click, I can send up a rocket.
The rockets.
Missed a little bit there, but yeah, fire groups are absolutely a thing. So it's not just weapons as well. Your boosters and other activatable blocks will be controlled through your fire groups. You have 4 different options: left click, right click, shift, and control. Control is currently assigned to a scanning ability. So yeah.
Cool, that's it. So we're going to go back to the close-up.
All right. There we go.
So people still have lots of questions. That's good. We have a lot more streams in the future, but we are finished for now. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, that was good. That was fun.
And we hope you guys liked it. As always, this will be up on YouTube afterwards, and it's saved on Twitch for a while if you want to share it with anyone or rewatch and find out anything we might have accidentally given away. So, thank you.
Hey, thank you.